My name is Aretha and I am here from Soulfish Wellness to discuss my top 5 hacks for whole body wellness at home. So my number 1 hack is combat touch starvation. Now, touch starvation is really prevalent right now given the current climate and environment that we're living in. There's a lot of isolation happening, and that means that people are not receiving the touch that we are wired to receive. We are wired to crave this touch, and when we don't get it, our bodies enter a sympathetic response. This is the fight or flight response. And what that means is that your cortisol levels go way up, your anxiety and depression go up, heart rate and blood pressure go up, your digestive system doesn't work as well, your immune system doesn't work as well, which is something that we really need right now. And so the best way to combat that is with therapeutic and loving touch, because that floods our system with oxytocin. And oxytocin basically undoes all of those negative physiological and neurological effects that we get from the fight or flight response. And it brings us into the rest and digest stage. And that's where we want to be. That's where our immune system is working well and all of our systems are harmonious and at ease. And if you can, get out and get some safe therapeutic touch through massage or other physical manipulations. But if you can't, self-touch is important too. Really mindful, thoughtful connection with your own self is very important. And it does stimulate different parts of the brain. Like, you can't tickle yourself, right? It is a different sensation in the body, but it's also equally important to the other's touch. So go out there, don't forget how important it is to touch and be touched. Yeah. So number 2 is don't be a mouth breather. So why is it so important to take a breath through your nose? You hear people say all the time, breathing through your nose, and yoga and Pilates and whatever you're doing. And it's because of nitrous oxide. So nitrous oxide is in the body to regulate blood pressure and blood flow. It's how Viagra works, coincidentally. So you can understand what effect it has on blood pressure and blood flow. And it is created in the endothelial cells that line our blood vessels. But those endothelial cells are also found in your nasal passages. So when you take a deep breath in through your nose, you're actually flooding your lungs with that nitrous oxide. And that allows for that nutrient-dense, oxygen-rich blood to circulate your body more efficiently and effectively. And that is how we operate at an optimal level, right? We need that in our bodies. And another really fantastic thing is that nitrous oxide creates a cardio-inhibited response, which is just a fancy way of saying that it affects your vagus nerve to kick into that parasympathetic response, which is what we were talking about, right? So again, better digestion, better immune system, and that's what we need. So take a breath through your nose. It's gonna do a world of good. Okay, so number 3 is oils for immunity, and there are thousands of years of studies and practices that will tell you how important this plant medicine is and how great it is for so many different things. I mean, every oil has therapeutic benefits, but there are some that are especially great for immunity. And so those are the ones I want to talk about today. I've narrowed it down to 3, these 3, because they are ones you've probably heard of and they're readily available at different pharmacies and wellness places, and they have great effects on the body. So the first one is tea tree. Tea tree oil is antiseptic, which means that it has been shown in studies to eliminate virus and bacteria and fungus. And it's also anti-inflammatory. So it works really well as a wound healer and as like you can use it for colds and fever and injury. It's an all-in-one go-to wellness oil. Definitely recommend it. Be careful on sensitive skin. It's a great one for inhaling through diffusers, but you want to be sensitive. If you're sensitive skin, you want to be careful with this one. The second one is lemon oil. It's called Liquid Sunshine. It is a beautiful oil and it's got so many great benefits. Like the tea tree, it's antiseptic, anti-inflammatory. It's also analgesic, which means that it's a pain reliever. And it also has been shown to clear mental exhaustion and improve your cognitive function. So it's got all of these really great physical benefits as well as all of these really great mental health benefits. So that is a go-to. My third one, eucalyptus. So this, again, antiseptic, anti-inflammatory, it's also a decongestant, which is why you see it so often in cold and flu remedies. So it's something that will actually help to clear congestion from your lungs, from your nasal passages and your sinuses. It's also a really effective immune booster. So you can use it for helping with body aches and pains, colds, sinus infections. It soothes your nerves, soothes your nervous system, and it can cure fevers as well. It's, again, these are like go-to, all-in-one, all-encompassing, amazing oils. Now, a note of caution: when you're using essential oils, these are plant medicines, right? These are highly effective and highly concentrated products. And so if you're going to use them, you need to make sure that you are diluting pure oils in a carrier oil if you're going to put it in like a roller ball or use it on your skin. If you're putting it in diffuser, it needs to be in with water so that it's filling the air and not just pure oil. And if you're going to ingest it, which I caution against ingesting unless you really know what you're doing, if you're going to ingest it, it needs to be in a carrier like honey or oil or butter or other fats like that, because if you're ingesting it directly, or even if you're ingesting it with water, it can do a lot of damage to your insides. So please use with caution, like you would any medicine. It's something that you need to really be cautious about. Okay, moving on. Number 4, the building blocks of alignment. So the body is designed to work from a place of ease, right? When everything is stacked, when the joints are correctly stacked and the building blocks are aligned, the skeletal structure can do what it's meant to do, and the muscular structure, the muscular system, it doesn't have to engage and work with such effort. So what are the building blocks? The way that I learned it was this: there are 4. There's the knees and the feet, there's the pelvis or the hips, there's the shoulders, and there's the head and the neck. And there are a myriad of little nuances that we need to look at when we're looking at each one. Most importantly, I would say that your feet have to have the weight evenly distributed on all 4 corners, and they should be hip width apart. Now, hip width doesn't mean as wide as your pelvis. It means underneath the hip bones. And they should be about 2 fist widths between your feet. Now, knees unlocked, and the pelvis, you have to imagine like a bowl of water. You don't want the water pouring out forward. You don't want the water pouring out to the back. You want it sitting nicely in its little bowl where your pubic bone and your tailbone are in line with each other. Yeah. And then the rib cage, the lower ribs, should be in line with, they're called your as-is. It's those pointy little bones that you can feel really prominently in the front of your hips. They should be in line with your lower ribs. And then the shoulders. We look at the shoulders from line of the front body from shoulder to shoulder and the line of the back body from shoulder to shoulder. And those lines should be about the same distance. So this would mean that the line in the front was shorter, and this would mean that the line in the back was shorter. So you want that even distance. The head and neck, we're looking at the chin being level and the ears being over your shoulders. And these are just a couple of little corrections. When you're really standing in correct alignment, if you did a plumb line down your side, your ankle bone and your knee and your shoulder tip and your ear would all hit on that plumb line. And it might feel really foreign to stand that way. It might feel really uncomfortable at first, but it's important to be relentless in these corrections, as relentless as those bad habits we get into that pull us out of alignment, sitting with your hip out to one side or always cocked up with a phone in your shoulder or whatever it is that's going on. You need to really be mindful and relentless in your corrections, because we are designed to work and move in this easeful way, and it really feels great when you get to that stage. So I'm happy to work with you in that if that's something you want to work on. Okay, number 5, hormone hacking. Our bodies have all of these beautiful hormones and chemicals ready to go, and we can access them in so many easy day-to-day activities. So like, let's see, oxytocin we talked about already, right? Oxytocin is accessed with touch, loving touch, and it's such an important one. And oxytocin can also be accessed with connection with animals or acts of kindness. It's a beautiful one and it's out there. Have a look at this little cheat sheet that I'm gonna stick up here for you. You can really get a good sense of the different options. Now, the other ones would be endorphins. Endorphins come from laughter, exercise, dark chocolate. Dopamine completing little tasks, checking things off lists, self-care, small wins. Serotonin is there if we get from being in nature. Sunshine gets us that. Meditating and exercise. So many different ways to access these hormones. They are in your body. Use them, access them, enjoy them. They are here for you, me, and we can all be well. So there you have it. That was a lot of information that I threw at you just now because wellness is a huge category to try and tackle, but those are really great foundational tools. And if you have any questions, if any of that was just like blah, overwhelming, or any one of those things is like, ooh, that I need to know about, please reach out to me, Aretha at Soulfish Wellness. You can get me at my website, soulfishwellness.com, or on social media, and all that information is here for you. So thank you for listening. Be well. Bye.